Welcome. Today we're going to be going through the process of creating a character. We're going to start on developing our concepts and what we're going to try and achieve by creating this character. So we have a few questions we have to ask ourselves whenever we're creating characters. Who? What? Where? So in terms of the who, this could relate to who is the character you're going to create. Do you have a clear vision of it in your mind? If not, that's perfectly fine. Sometimes we are plagued by our characters, and other times they like to go into hiding into the deep recesses of our minds, and we have to dig them out. Another thing that qualifies for our who is our audience? Who are we trying to show this character to? If it's just going to be for friends, it can be a little less refined, and maybe it doesn't have to be on a certain level of quality compared to if you were going and using this to showcase your portfolio or show it to a client. Depending on the reaction you're trying to get from your audience, it really determines what you're doing. If you're trying to just do a funny doodle for your friends to laugh with you at, that's fine. If you're going for something that's a little more like trying to nab you a job, then you have to put a little more effort and planning into your execution. It helps show that you have a good thought process going on for your characters. And then we have the what. What are we creating today? What also sort of ties into where. When you're developing a character, you don't want to just, draw Joe Blow from wherever and then that's it. You want to give a little bit of story to them. Sometimes that helps through the creative process. Helps you get an idea of backstory and understanding your character a little better. If you could tell where the character's from, is the character from the rich part of town? Are they from the poor part of town? Are they human? Are they an animal or otherwise? What kind of personality do they have? Are they a nice character? Are they mean? Are they a loner? Where do they fit into the world that you are creating for them? And then that could even delve into time periods. Is it a character from the present day? Is it from a time that doesn't exist yet, or the future? Are you basing it off of pre-existing times, or is it just something you want to develop? Like, is it steampunk or medieval, or is it some sci-fi creation from outer space? These questions are really important when you start developing your character. It'll help you determine what the character will be wearing, what kind of clothes make sense in that world. And then it delves even further into what does your character do? If they're some warrior character, they're not going to be walking around with books. Well, unless it's some crazy warrior magician with spell books, but you know what I mean. They'll probably be equipped and armored, stuff like that, more so than being scholarly in appearance or anything like that. And you also have to take into consideration that this can be a very challenging part of the creative process. It's a point in which you are determining the initial stages of what's going on. Sometimes that can be very difficult. Other times you might have a very clear vision of what you're doing. The greatest disservice you could do to yourself during these times is to not pick up that pencil and draw something out. Even if it is not the character you wanted. Even if it comes out and you're just like, no, this isn't him. I don't think this is what I wanted at all. At least you put the effort in and you have something. You have something you could say no to. And that's one less thing that you have to go through. And then from there, you just have to pick it up again and go for round 2. It's not very likely that you'll pick up a pencil and just doodle out your character and it'll be perfect the first time. You have to be willing to go through iterations of development, and that's fine. I know it's very tempting to just want to do it once and do it right, and if I could had one motto to live by in life, it would definitely be along those lines, because I don't like wasted work. But there are times when you have to sit down and realize this isn't working, this isn't quite what I was envisioning, or you look at it and you're like, this is good, this is great, I did a good job on this, but I can do better. And you have to be willing to move and change and push your boundaries. If you just sit there drawing the same character over and over again and it's not changing at all or not evolving, then what are you actually accomplishing with this? So I'm drawing I guess a bug-like character. Thinking maybe he's like a little bit of a guard. Maybe a little mercenary guard for maybe a caravan, something like that. So the timing is maybe a little medieval, maybe not quite, but where blades and stuff like that are a little more prominent, as opposed to him whipping out a machine gun or something, or, you know, a lightsaber. Another thing that we will be delving into is utilizing reference material. Right now I'm drawing completely from without reference. When you're just sitting down to develop an idea and you are just trying to push ideas out, sometimes it makes more sense to just sit down, do that, focus on just pushing out the idea as opposed to pushing it out and making sure everything is anatomically correct and that it all makes sense in terms of anatomy and stuff like that. That is very important to do, and we will be going into that. Focusing on details like that right now might not be the best idea, because we're just trying to develop ideas and we're just trying to push them out. As you get more experience, you won't have to go and reference stuff as often. I know that I am probably I have not had much experience drawing bugs. This is mostly from memories of bugs. So we'll probably research a few in the next lesson and then take what we learn from that and apply it and make this bug look a lot better, make him a little more interesting, give him a little more character. Like maybe he has little wings on the back. Like, I don't know. We'll probably reference some different bugs and see what kinds work well for this kind of body shape. But yeah, so we have a rough idea. I hope you've been sketching along too. And one thing to keep in mind is you can do the reverse of this. We could reference first and then start sketching out. Or you could just let your ideas go wild and then worry about making corrections and tightening it up a little bit later. So we have our little insectosaur insect guy. It's a little bit of a warrior, so let's see. He's an insect of some sort. I'm not sure what kind. He's a warrior slash guard. Watches over a caravan of little buggies. That deliver all the little and maybe the ants are the ones that pull it along because they can lift 50 times their own weight. And he protects them from anything that comes a-knockin', like bandits and stuff like that. And place him in like the 20s, 30s in terms of age. So not a young bug, but not middle-aged or anything like that. So he still has that youthful endeavor, youthful vigor, as it were. Another thing is the world will be on a smaller scale, so we'll have like the ginorma trees and stuff like that that we can work with backgrounds later. And we can add little doodads from like real life, like maybe instead of this just being a regular shield, it has a nickel on it with the beaver, because I am Canadian and we like our beavers. It was a very important part of our early industries. So we've discussed the who. Oh, I guess I did not discuss the who for this guy. Mostly designing it for you guys. Thought it'd be a fun little character to go with. He kind of fits into my style. Like, I like that kind of cartoony vibe, and then giving it a little bit of a realistic polish to him. It just looks really neat. And maybe he'll make his way into a game or a comic or something like that, because I do find his design interesting, and I'm wondering if something like this might be entertaining to do, or to put it into a different format. I don't think I liked what I did there. But, and then the what we have, he is an insect. He's a guard warrior. He's protecting the caravan. He's probably not super intelligent, maybe just average intelligence. I think he's a nice guy. He looks like Happy Fellow. And he's probably one of the good guys. And where does he fit into the world? So he lives in the land of the little bugs. Obviously he's part of a trade route, so maybe it's a trade route between little bug cities or ant colonies or something like that. Like maybe tree colonies, like the ants live in their little like ant mounds, little ant hills rather, around the tree, and then they're the transportation method. And then you have the other bugs who live up in the tree and around the tree, and they transport goods from tree to tree. So this is our rough sketch. We're gonna go and take this guy and look into some references so we could strengthen this design, because right now it looks good, but I'm sure we can improve it and make it even better. So thank you for watching, guys, and on to the next lesson.